I think we're on. I can't see we're on. Yes, we are.
Here we go.
Yes, we go. Hello and welcome to the episode 2 premiere of the episode 2 of the She-Hulk Attorney at Law Aftershow. I am one of your hosts, James Lott Jr. Welcome to the show. Happy Thursday night. We're on our regular night here on JLJ Media. And I'm here with two of my co-hosts who will be talking all things She-Hulk this season. That is Anthony Tupazzi and Frank Moran. Hello.
I really thought this was happening Friday.
Is it Friday right now? Oh,
not ready for this.
It's Friday somewhere, Frank.
That's true. That's true.
Friday. Hi, Haywood.
You so universal.
So John may or may not be here. Don't worry. Don't fear. He's finishing up the Big Brother. Tonight was a double elimination night on Big Brother, and he's on the East Coast. So I think he'll come on sometime. So if you see the face pop up, that's him. So before you ask, he's fine. Just conflict. We have all these shows. We're all on demand. All these shows everywhere. So let me do some church announcements. Thank you for making our show last week a hit for us. Thank you for all you guys maybe new to us. Don't know who we are. We talk about shows. We do after shows here at JLJ Media. She-Hulk Attorney at Law. We're doing after shows for every single show that comes out this season. I think it's like 6 more, 7 more, 5 more. I don't remember what's well. But we'll be here talking about them, discussing them. Yes, 30 minutes is very short, you guys. I know it's very short. And we'll break it all down for you. I have other shows too, of course, Star Wars, soap operas, all kinds of goodness. Just JLJ Media. There is a button here somewhere, or a bell, or some shit here somewhere. Oh, there's the subscribe button. Okay. Subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. If you're new here, I'm sure you guys are in the chat room who are already fans. But hit it, please. You do it for Frank.
Yeah, please.
Subscribe button. Yes, please. And hit that thumbs up. Also, because even if you hate us, still hit the thumbs up button. It gets me in the algorithms. Do that also. Yes, the thumbs. Thank you, Anthony. And also, I have some stuff I'll put in the chat room. You can look at that stuff while you're here. But we're going to talk about She-Hulk Superhuman Law. It was a little less than 30 minutes long, actually, because that the actual show plus the storyboard kind of thing he did at the end, where he kind of filled in things, plus the bonus scene. That was really kind of fun. So it was about 30-something minutes there. So yeah, it was kind of very short. There we go. So once again, kids, what we think overall, episode 2. We'll go with you, Anthony, first. What did you think?
It just continues right away. She goes back. It's nice to see her go back to the office and live the normal life, because now she's not training anymore, and she's proving to Bruce, right? Like, hey, I can do this without having to be a superhero like the way you think it needs to be. So I generally liked it. I think you mentioned this before, but it went really fast. It was just like right when I was kind of getting into it, I'm so used to these shows now being so long that it was just like, oh, I wanted a little more, So yeah, I overall liked it. We'll get into details about it, but it was good. It's good.
We'll break it down. We'll break it down. Frank Moran, what do you think overall?
No, I'm liking it. I mean, it's short and sweet at a half hour, so it's great. I don't think it was as richly dense as the first episode, but it was still enjoyable. I mean, it's all about status quo, setting all that up for this. So now that we got it, we'll see what happens after that.
I kind of feel like both of you guys. I feel like in the middle. I felt like it was one of those exposition episodes we call the business. Like it's kind of like here we go. We're going to set it up for you. Here's the aftermath of what happened last time a little bit, and now we're going to set up kind of what could be happening next. Let's get her storyline. I was shocked by some of the things we'll talk about that happened. Like, oh, they did that. Okay, I'm going to ask Frank a question actually.
Oh,
yes, Frank. Because I believe because you and my brother both, I believe, read the comics, and the second set of comics that came back in the 90s, I think it is. It feels like it's following that kind of format, right? The whole talking to the audience, being very kind of funny. Do you feel like it's following the format of those comics?
I mean, I feel like it's taking that the breaking the fourth wall, talking to the audience from the John Byrne run, but mixing it with the Dan Slott run, where she's really just working for a law firm as a superhero lawyer, handling superhuman cases.
Okay. That's for sure. Because it seems like there's some winky stuff in there, but also, like you said, a lot. And it was also, we should talk about this too before we get into it, because there's a scene or two that happens again. There was some attacks, of course, by snowflakes, I call them, who just don't enjoy anything, about over wokeness, so to speak, of the last episode. because there were a couple of scenes which talks about being a woman, which to me just felt like nothing about being woke, just she's telling you what it feels like to be a woman. It happened again in this episode again. There was a couple of scenes where it brought up. How do you feel about the backlash? There's a little tiny bit of that going on in the universe. What are your thoughts on that? Either of you, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, one of the things there's one of the things that I think you might be pointing to is, to kind of go into when you're going to go to the story here. There was something about, there was one part that I know, if this is kind of a reference that not everyone's going to get if you're younger, but like a teen wolf kind of feel, and that we don't want you to be you anymore. We want you to be Teen Wolf. We want you to be She-Hulk because this is not good enough. But just to kind of go along back to what you're saying though, is like, I think that might've been something that was interesting tying with the woman, and like women have to kind of be a certain way all the time. You can't just be you, like in Hollywood, you see this a lot of the times with men can have gray hair, they can go bald, but women can't do that. It's like they have to have a certain image all the time. So they always have to live up to this thing. And I think for Jen's character, it's like, we don't want Jen, we want She-Hulk. But here's another perspective too. I think that if you're in the world, that's like if you're in the social media world, now kind of spending more time on Instagram and seeing how this works with social media, that's kind of expected of you as well. So it could apply to women, but it could apply to everyone playing these kind of facades or these roles that we have to play in order to be presentable. People don't want necessarily the real thing. They want this image. So there was a lot of those snowflakes in there, but I mean, you see them come in, they're happening. I wouldn't say they're subtle, especially on this episode, because I think that first episode, we really had a few of those. So now we're kind of getting more of them it's becoming less subtle. But yeah, they were there. They were okay. I mean, I didn't mind them, but they're starting to become less subtle as for me. Yeah.
Frank?
I don't know. I mean, for me, I'm not minding it only because, this is a woman fronted show about a female character, and like all great things, you're going to use the character to kind of express your point of view about stuff, whether it's not necessarily a direct one for one because it's about a superhero lawyer, but still she's a woman dealing with workplace issues like any woman would be. So who am I to be saying like, no, don't tell me about your experience, because I'm just here for the punching and the smashing. No, this is it's all part of the deal. So let's see different perspectives. I don't need to just see. I want to see more things through Marvel than just straight up superheroics. They're great, but you can also add different perspectives to that as well.
Well, I want to add on to Frank's point, which is really interesting about that, because I agree with him in this way too, because you are watching She-Hulk. You're going to get a female character. When you watch Shang-Chi, it's going to be in Asian culture. If you're going to watch Ms. Marvel, you're going to be pushed into Muslim and Pakistani culture. It's not like, what the heck is this? Like, what is this? It's like, you know where you're going. You tune on. If you're shocked by it or you're offended, it's like, you had the choice. So yeah.
Well, that's why I bring it up, because it's being talked about, because we do shows. I was curious because I agree with all of you guys. I think it's not anything about being woke. So she's talking about women, because as we go into the episode, we can go into it. The first arc is that it's the aftermath of what happened. She's now kind of popular. Nice tease of Shang-Chi. Somebody in the chat room said to you, Anthony.
Oh, there's more, as you know. Well, there's so much. There's so much. Yeah, we'll get.
Calm down.
Ah!
Okay. So Hayward Wong said that. Who's Asian, of course. Said nice tease of Shang-Chi, LOL. The first thing is a chick Hulk, a She-Hulk, a dumb name. I have to be attached to a guy. I can have my own name. I thought that was actually very. I knew exactly, because when She-Hulk, I don't know when she was created, but when I was a kid and She-Hulk came out, I knew that's what they do back then. It was like, that's how you identify the female part. But it is kind of effed up, isn't it? I mean, it is kind of effed up. It's like because back when I was growing up, there was Spider. I think somebody made up Spider Woman or something, or Supergirl. Like, she can be her own thing. Like Supergirl. Or there was the $6 million man, but there was the Bionic Woman. So I was shocked that it wasn't a $6 million woman or $8 million woman. It was like that. It was like they make her less discounted, like $2 million woman or whatever. Who knows back then? It was the 70s. It was like we took it for granted. It was kind of like, here you go. It's kind of fun. I never thought of it before, like that until she started saying that. Going, that is kind of fun. It's all like she can't even be her own thing. Just be She-Hulk.
It's framed in a way that makes it it makes it weird, because if you think of something like Spider-Man, there's Spider-Gwen, but she actually gets her name involved. She doesn't have to be Spider-She or Spider-Et. You know what I mean? So I agree with you, James, and that it frames it in a way that I guess we didn't pay attention to this, the She-Hulk thing, but when she puts it that way, it's
It's like if there's Hulk and there's She-Hulk.
Yeah.
It's like I don't thought about it before until like that is kind of crazy.
But it's also a way that we do in society. We try to put things in a box, right? We try to categorize it, right? We can't just accept, oh, that's Hulk and that's another Hulk. We have to have a category for it, right?
Well, I think it is sexism. I think it's sexism that just happened back then. Like it wasn't like, I don't even think it was super thought out. It was just like, well, there's Hulk and here's the female Hulk and it'd be She-Hulk.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's just kind of like, I don't know, Frank, am I off? I don't know the origins of the names, but it just feels like that's how it felt as a kid when I would see something. I was able to identify it to whatever it was.
I mean, I guess it's one of those things where things you may have named characters back in 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, now in retrospect may not have been, like, oh, hey, if we were actually naming that character now, we probably think of something different than She-Hulk. But, it was the times were what they were back then. That's how the names were.
Hey, Frank, just since we're doing all this She-Hulk stuff, I have a question that maybe you might know. Did she have any different names besides She-Hulk?
She did not. No. So
okay. Interesting.
Yeah. No. It's always been She-Hulk.
Okay. I'm curious.
So she goes to a bar before they want to see this chick Hulk, Hulk. So she goes in, and of course there's good old Dennis, who's just a dick.
Yeah.
Crying. He starts going off on her about her great job. You can do all this before you get the case, and how you get about nepotism and all this. So it's kind of there's no commentary on that. Although you brought that up a second, and there's a that in there. There's a thorn inside. So, but one part was kind of weird to me. This is where she's fired. So I thought it was interesting because they almost kind of set the office up where like he's gonna be kind of the guy who's always always a thorn in her side. She has her paralegal. But he literally just said, bye. That's it. I mean, if you think about it, they cut them out, and now they have the paralegal comes with the chick comes with her. Yeah. So it's kind of like they set these guys. I mean, so unless they're coming back later in the season as adversaries, maybe that's going to happen, I guess. But it's like, oh, they set this whole scene up for us, and it was like second episode. No, that's done.
Well, I can see it though, being since he works for the district attorney office as well. Now that she's left and gone into criminal defense or. That I could just see them at some point in the season. He's going to be their, representative for the prosecution, and she'll be the defense for somebody.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see him coming back around and them being opposing figures in the courtroom.
She has a nickname, Shulky.
Oh.
Shulky. The thing with Teaser. That's when she was part of the Fantastic Four thing, right?
Yes.
Did she go over there with them? Yes. Okay, that's okay. I'm trying to learn this universe. I don't know anything about this universe. I'm trying to learn it. She's my brother and Frank and everybody. I'm trying to learn all this stuff. Like I remember my brother told me about that. There was a whole storyline where she was part of the Fantastic Four because of Homeboy, the Rock thing. He was out or something.
Yeah, after they did Secret Wars, he decided to hang out on Battleworld after that and kind of explore. And She-Hulk went back and took his place on the Fantastic Four.
I don't know how you guys remember all this shit. I'm like, I don't know.
Because it all makes sense.
It was fun. I mean, she's been an Avenger. She's been a member of the Fantastic Four. She's seen it all.
But
James, one thing about that scene that I really liked, it was a subtlety thing that I've heard this from many women when they're in the business world, is the part when he's about to fire her, he stands up next to her and then she stands up above him. And I've heard so many women have bosses that they said they feel they kind of stand next to him and have used this height thing as a way of intimidation. And then she kind of returns the favor and stands over him. It's like, excuse me. So I just thought there was a subtle thing that they pulled right there because she uses that like as a way to kind of even out the stature or the status.
Well, he said to her, "Can you get back to normal? Because I want to talk to you seriously."
Yeah.
But there was a weird moment. It was not weird. It was an interesting moment. She was looking down at him. He didn't like it.
Yeah, but but many women feel that way for many male bosses because they stand over them like, excuse me. And then I've heard this from many women, like it makes you feel very intimidated because they can use that as a hype thing, So that was
And
weird.
then there's a montage of her not getting interviewed, getting all these not getting it. And Bruce checks in via voicemail or whatever. I thought, okay, so I'm thinking, okay, we won't see him this episode, but obviously I was wrong. And then she has a little thing, so being a mascot was kind of funny, a little thing they threw in there. There are a bunch of things they threw in there was kind of funny. So next, a family dinner. So it's set up. We don't know what's going to happen with her. I remember, and it's on the title, it changed it for attorney for hire in the title sequence. That was kind of cute. So I got to meet her family. So I mean, her mom and dad. Yes, in the chat room, that was Mark Lynn Baker from.
I know I was gonna say his cousin Larry. His cousin Larry.
Perfect Straight. I'm like, anybody of a certain age knows who he is. Yes,
cousin Larry was the dad.
He shows up in all kinds of stuff. He was also, I think he showed up on Ghost also too on CBS. Like he shows up on. He's still working. Like, well, Mark Lynn Baker, he's still working.
It's funny.
But yeah, he said, I don't know where Bronson is, but he's still working. I might do something. And there's no shade. I like Bronson shows okay. I don't shade him. I don't know what he's doing. I just know what Mark Lynn's doing. So her mom and dad. I guess that's a cousin, Chad, who's just a young douche or whatever, some sort. And I guess another aunt and uncle. So they're all there, and it's just very much family, just craziness, all ensue. But her and her dad have like a little moment. It's like he pulls her aside, and I liked that moment. Actually, I thought if it falls too slapsticky, it's gonna be a little too much. But they did try to tone it down, being okay. This is like, how are you doing? Like it's our first time dealing with the Hulk. It was kind of fun. They talk about that, and I like that. So that whole family sequence. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I don't know. For me, everybody's mouth's may vary on that stuff. It's just those, those family dinners where it's. I mean, I guess I've been fortunate that I not had that in my life, but I get so irritated when I have to watch it. It's just, when they're constantly trying to one up each other. Oh, well, my son's this, my son's that, my daughter is this. I'm like, ugh. I always find those exhausting, but I know that that's a part of life, and I know I'm sure there are families that do that, but
yeah, Frank's dead inside.
That's true.
Well, here's the thing. I will say I think they're trying to set the family dynamic now. Like, so maybe her and her dad. I would like to see more scenes with her and her dad later. And I'm kind of with Frank. The rest of the family, I don't really beat them. But I mean, I think they're trying to show us that she comes from a regular family. It's kind of crazy. They're all close knit. The Chad is a manager at Best Buy. Like, he has a regular job kind of thing. Yeah. That kind of thing. Whatever. He's a big mouth. They mentioned Hawkeye.
Yes.
They asked about the arrows. What does he do with the arrows?
What's he do with the arrows?
So go ahead. And so Anthony, that's your turn to ask.
Oh, well, no, that was actually my favorite part of the whole thing, just because it's I always thought, like, if you knew a superhero, wouldn't you ask him all these questions, like how everything works? And it's funny. I've heard, when it's funny, like for me, becoming an actor, when I do something with like we'll do something tonight, we'll have this show and my mom will watch it and she'll go, I'll say, Mom, what do you think? And she'll say, oh, James was great, So it's funny, like that's a mom would normally do that. And so like at a like a dinner table like that, she'd be like, look, I'm She-Hulk now, and she's like, but tell me about this Hawkeye guy. What's going on with him with these arrows? It's this typical kind of family. They just, yeah, I know you, but what's this all about?
That makes sense. It does. No, my family do it too. My kids and grandkids don't give an F about me on.
Yeah.
They're like, we love Marissa, or we love Lucretia or Frank. Yeah. They don't care about me. They don't. I mean, I'm just some guy they see all the time as grandpa. They don't really care about what I do.
Oh, I mean, it happened with this show because my dad watched it. And he goes like, "Oh, that Frank guy knows so many things." I was like, "Yeah, I know, but I don't." I'm getting there. It's my first show, Dad.
It's also one of those where. For like this, as soon as you become something, whether it be like your first little acting role as like a background actor, or you're getting you become a superhero, that instantly you happen to know everybody.
Yeah.
Like that you would know like what Hawkeye's deal is. Like I've never met, but just because I'm a superhero now, I would know all that stuff suddenly.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah. My joke always is when somebody in my family who God bless them. You watch this, you guys. I love you. God bless you guys. But some of my family members from other parts of the country where they're not in the cosmopolitan area, we'll just say that. they're laughing at chat room right now. They will say things like, there's that actor, black actor. He's on that show. Do you know him? I'm like, yes, I know every black actor in Hollywood. We go to a meeting once a month. And that's always a big joke. It's like, yes, we all meet up once a month. That gay actor? Like, yeah, we meet up we have the gay meeting every month.
Yeah,
just meet up.
Our clandestine meetings. We just the secret society. We're like, oh yeah, we do, but I can't tell you more about that.
Yes, or my family who's like back east will go, there's an earthquake in San Francisco. Are you okay, James? I'm 400 miles away. The earthquake was in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I'm in Los Angeles.
But could you feel a little bit of it?
Right, exactly. So Frank's right about that. It's like it's this weird thing where it's kind of like it's because in a weird way because we're closer to this stuff than they are. Right. That's the thing. It's not out of the realm. It's not out of the realm of possibility that she would know Hawkeye possibly.
Yeah.
Like it's not out of that realm, so to speak. But like Frank said, you don't know every superhero out there on Earth. So it's kind of funny to say that. Yes, Anthony, what you're saying?
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah,
you're like, Dad, I love you. Okay.
Here we go. I do. Yeah. If Dad's watching, which I know he is. He's been trying. He's like, what time? What time
he loves
tonight?
You, Dad. He does.
I was like, it's not Friday. It's not Friday at like Frank says. It's really Thursday.
But it should be Friday.
It should be Friday.
We all feel that.
In the chat room, Frank and James, are you talking about the Quartermains? Did you talk about family? You talk about the family sometimes, Frank. Apparently.
Yeah, there you go.
Frank's family's coming on now, going like, "What the fuck? What do you mean we don't talk to us? What's going on?" Like,
I don't know. I don't talk to my family whatsoever.
I didn't know Frank had a family. I thought he was a pod person. I thought he just came out of a pod. I know he had a family until recently. Like he's a peer in a pod. That's all he did. Okay, so the next thing is they're back at the bar, and if you didn't catch this, because I caught it, because I got eyes on the TV screen, on the TV in the bar was Ally McBeal. I caught it. I was like, that's hilarious. Another law show. It was Callista Flockhart coming out of the bathroom. I was like, that is Ally McBeal. That's what you say. That was kind of funny.
Oh my gosh.
Reference. Another female-led lawyer show from 30 years ago. That was a huge deal. And I think it was ABC.
Yes. No, it was Fox. It was Fox.
It was Fox. Well, whoever the rights to must have paid for that scene or whatever, but it was like completely, I thought, that is, no dancing baby. That's something different yet. They had the unisex bathrooms or that.
Yeah.
But I thought how ironic they had that. That's kind of actually really funny.
Oh my gosh, James, that is so cool. I wish I would have caught that. Man.
I learned to look. So on a side note, I am a huge background person. I like to look at the backgrounds of stuff.
Yeah.
My daughter and I used to do this all the time. We would watch a movie and go look at the background because sometimes there's a movie called not another teen movie. It's a total spoof movie of all those teen movies. It's hilarious. But there's these two characters that dress up like different people in every single background scene. And we saw them once. They're like, most they're like reggae, like two reggae guys in the background, or two surfer guys, the same two guys. They're always in the background. And so our thing was, look at the background. You never know what's going on back there. So doing these review shows, which Frank and I have done 800 years now at this point. I've learned to look at things sometimes to catch small stuff that people were like, oh my God, I didn't know that. I was looking for Tony Moore in the background. Yeah, Tony Moore was on the show. Yes. But I saw that. So I caught that. I was like, that is very interesting.
And James, like when you ask about the plot, you're like, I don't know, but the background.
I don't know the background. That chick over there is overacting. And that one over there is just, I can catch that. I'm like, and there's Frank back there doing something, so I can catch the background. There's John Duffy.
Hold on, I can't hear you for some reason. Hold on.
All right, this is where we talk shit about John now.
Exactly.
Mr. Big Brother.
Oh, he's Mr. Jury Duty, Big Brother Jury. He's ahead of us because we don't know what it hasn't been aired here in LA yet. So he's special. He really can't hear us.
He totally can't hear us. He's like, yeah. Thanks. You guys look energetic.
I mean, John's so ugly. I can't get on TV.
Oh, I can hear you now.
You really didn't hear the stuff we were saying. You didn't hear the stuff we were saying. I'm saying that you're ahead of us because Big Brother hasn't even aired in LA yet here, so we don't even know what happened. And you know everything about you. So don't say
I can't say anything. I can't say anything. All right. Okay.
But you're gonna hint. You're gonna do like little sign language.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be doing.
I'm all Kyle or Joseph. Kyle or Joseph. Don't say anything.
I'm gonna be doing Morse code. Blinking.
Frank's on. He blinked 5 times in a row and 1 time only. Got it. It's Jasmine. Got it. Okay. Everybody's saying hi to you. Yeah, we don't get it. We don't get it live. Hey Wong. Hey Wong. I think it was Hayward Wong. Hey Wong. I'll give you a new name. I don't have the Eastern feed or anything. So yeah, so we have to wait for it. So I have to wait another half an hour before it comes on.
Well, you come now. It's complete because John's here. It's the duo. It's like Voltron.
So John, we only actually we're halfway through the episode, so we're only halfway through. So I'm gonna ask you kind of a couple of questions. Here's a fun part. This is a quick round to catch you up to us. Okay.
Oh, I'm really nervous.
Okay, this is good. This is a new segment, you guys. For anybody who comes in late, this is their punishment. You get
Dinger.
Okay. Number 1. Describe the episode in 1 sentence. For you.
One sentence? Doesn't matter if it's like okay.
It doesn't matter if it's in Greek or in Japanese.
I enjoyed and was intrigued by this episode. That's my sentence. I enjoyed and was intrigued by this episode.
Okay, John, what I want you to do now, since you were late, and you have to do it. You have to do it in haiku form. So, 575.
That's good. That part of the episode. They mentioned haiku.
Yes, tied it in.
One of should be a Blonsky inspired.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We haven't gotten there yet, but that's a good tie-in. Also, she got fired. How do you feel about that?
Felt really sad for her. Thought it was unjust in this unjust world.
I like that. Also, did you care about the family dinner, that whole scene and her and her dad talking? Did you care about that?
Yeah, it was relatable, right? I think in a way of like a dad trying to help but not being helpful.
Did you recognize the father, who he was?
Yeah, I forget the name of the actor, but I like this guy. I've seen him in a lot of stuff. I feel like he's in a ton of stuff.
His name is Mark Lynn Baker, and his original claim to fame was Perfect Strangers, his cousin Larry. You would know.
Okay.
Millennials would know that.
Perfect Strangers.
Yes.
Man.
Yes, you were a kid. You were a kid.
That's right. Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay, that's it. Okay, now you caught up. Okay, that's good. That's a little quick. That's all you get. Okay, we're caught up. I just mentioned, now we're in the bar scene, and I was mentioning that on the TV screen, when it first opens up, that's Ally McBeal, the TV show. Another female lawyer show. But I'm bummed.
Nice. Okay.
Also, then this guy named Holden Holloway shows up and actually works for the other side, offers her a job. And I thought it was so funny for a place called GLK and H. Does that mean something, Frank? Are you guys, does that mean something?
I'm actually just double checking if that's the same law firm that she had for the comics when she was working there. See if that's a nod to that.
Okay, I was curious. So she gets hired for them while he's looking that up. She gets hired. She wants to bring her paralegal, which I thought was kind of cool. Bring homegirl with her. He's like, I don't care. You know what you want. That's fine. But she's going to head up the she doesn't know everything that's happening till she gets there. And she's going to have the superhuman law division. But she has to be, so it is related, Frank?
It is the same. It's the same one from the comics. It's Goodman, Lieber, Kurtzberg, and Holloway. So Martin Goodman, one of the first guys at Marvel, and Lieber was Stan Lee's real last name.
Never knew that.
Yeah.
Never knew that. It said those are initials to Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and the guy who started Marvel. Frank just read it. So yeah, he just read what it is. Congratulations. Thank you. But she has to be She-Hulk the whole time in court. That made me laugh actually out loud. They have to be She-Hulk the whole time. Great office, of course. They introduced this guy named Paul, very smiley guy, with a basket of goodies. And I have a short story. Very short. In the basket, he says, and here's a map to the best bathrooms for a poop. So now here's the thing. I used to work in the corporate world. This is TMI. I don't care. I used to work in the corporate world, and we had. We worked at a place called Regis. There, you can get office space from them. It's not different companies in there. You just rent office space from them. My colleague and I had our office, and there were bathrooms on our floor, but he was always like, "You never use the bathroom on the same floor." I was like, "What?" He goes, "No, you don't. You never do that. You go to another floor." So there was like 10 floors in San Francisco, on California, and it was California and I forgot what the cross street was. But it was this giant building. So he goes, "No, there's a floor that's half empty. That's where you use the bathroom down there." I was like, "What?" So he took me down to like the third or fourth floor where there's hardly anybody in there. And so your midday dump was all during down there. It's always like, no one can smell it. No one's down there. You're good to go. You can't be embarrassed. So when he said that, I started laughing. I was like, oh my God. For 7-8 years, I would go down to the third floor, because, it was always like the coffee in the morning would come through in midday. And so you went downstairs. So I thought that's what made me laugh.
So James, you were like, throughout this episode, people are relating to like being a woman and dealing with like not fitting along and having to play a different role. And you're like, a good poop space. That's
very important.
Oh,
it spoke
speaking to me now. These are my people.
Trust me. If I had a salad for dinner and coffee in the morning, it was time to go downstairs by 10:30.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, by 10:30 in the morning. So yeah, that's how I related. So we don't know who this Paul guy is. I feel like something's up with him. But they bring in your first client is Mr. Blonsky, the Abomination, which you guys can correct. My brother tried to fill me on this last time. He was part of the She-Hulk comic, right? But he's also part of the Hulk stuff too, because they mentioned that later. So that's part of that, right? So
yeah, I mean, he started off with the Hulk. I mean, he was a fellow scientist. Here they are basing him off his Marvel Cinematic Universe counterpart, which is the kind of soldier of fortune working for the British, then helping out General Ross in that 2008 Hulk movie.
Is it so? There's several iterations of him.
Yeah, there's the scientist version. He's in the comics. He's a scientist from Russia. This, as he says here, born in Russia, raised in Britain, became a soldier, and then helped out the U.S. So kind of different from the movies and the comics. Kind of two different versions of that character.
Okay, and so when she meets him and everything, very Silence of the Lambsy.
Yeah.
I was like, "Where are the lambs?"
Oh, she mentions that, right? She says, "Am I getting like the fava beans and Chianti?"
Fava beans.
Yeah. Right?
It was very Silence of the Lambs. I was like, "This is very interesting."
And the guard was like, "Ma'am, this is a prison." It's like, please.
Yeah.
It is good. And so what the story he was kind of telling, this is where the haiku comes in too, but story he was telling, does that sound about right then from this alliteration of him?
No, because I mean, it's he chose to get the super soldier serum, inject it into the trial super soldier serum, inject it into him, and then when the Hulk whipped his butt, and he had an opportunity to kind of dose himself some of the Hulk's blood, that was a move he made. He's like, no, I want that. So that made him into the Abomination. So I mean, he's coloring the facts a little bit to suit his needs.
Now, do we like that because again, it's almost kind of a borrowed villain for somebody else? Because Titania, obviously, they mentioned her. She was probably the first thing. Do we like that he's the first villain we're dealing with on the show? Is there? Do you feel like it should be somebody else? Like, what are you guys feeling about this?
It's great. It's conflicting with the whole Bruce Banner thing. It's just the first job that she can accept, or that she can, the job that she gets is like, either you have this job and you deal with him, or you don't have a job, and it's perfect conflict for her. So now she has to deal with it. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, and I love that we got the phone call from her to Bruce, being like, "Listen, this guy, I got this new job, but I have to represent this guy." And then, him being like, "Oh no, that's totally cool. That's totally cool. I got a very nice letter. I got a haiku from him." It was very funny how it all just kind of worked out perfectly like that.
Well, it's funny, John, like about that phone call, which is really interesting that and you can tell me if I'm wrong on this one, is he says, she says, "Well, you guys went through this whole thing." Is like, well, back then I was literally a different person, which I think refers to Edward Norton because it wasn't really
Yes, I heard
the
that
Hulk,
too.
right?
I
Okay.
heard that too.
Yes.
I couldn't remember if it was Edward Norton or the Banner guy. I couldn't remember which one
Yeah.
that played at the time.
And then she's like, "Ha ha," and it's just this quick, like, "Oh, oh."
Little wink, wink.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I caught that. Frank, what are your thoughts on all that?
No, I mean I like it because I was disappointed in like the look and presentation of the Abomination in that Hulk movie. It's not a great character design. So I was happy when I saw him in Shang-Chi that he had the revamp of his look to make it look closer to how he would in the comics. So I'm always down for like an old school callback in terms of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the Abomination is somebody that really hasn't just been touched much. It's kind of since it was in the Hulk movie, and that's not really considered. I mean, it's sort of part of the MCU, but not really. But kind of.
Are the two Hulk films not part of it? Not canon or not?
The first one's not. The second one is, but it's also from Universal, and it's kind of ties into the Avengers with a little cameo from Tony Stark at the end. But
right, like the post-credit scene, right? Tony Stark makes an appearance in, right, with Ed Norton.
So it's cool just to see, that getting them reaching back into that part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe history and pulling that forward.
Interesting. And that actor is somebody who's been around too. I can't give his name. He's been around for
Tim
a long
Roth,
time.
right?
Tim Roth, yes. He's been around for a long time too. Do we like his portrayal? Do we like him?
I mean, it's it'll be curious to see the vibe that he's bringing this time as opposed to in the film, the Hulk film. It was more like a big badass military dude, and I'm here to take down this really tough guy. So now he's at least protesting that he's a changed man.
Yeah.
So but I like Tim Roth. So let's see what he's got going for him.
Everybody hold for a second. Hello, everybody in the chat room. We have 11 people watching. Thank you.
Woo!
My sister's here. Hello, sis. She's in here. She's just watching both episodes. Okay, good. They're easy to watch. B. Patterson, not a big fan of She-Hulk, but I'm enjoying the series so far. Hayward Wong brings up William Hurt, rest in peace, was a General Ross in the Norton movie. Everybody say yes, it was Norton. Leopardus, hello. Kirsten Marie, hello. Make sure to say hello, everybody. You guys are important to us. Thanks for watching the show. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Okay. So, but when she talks to the Hulk, the smart Hulk, my new hot man, he's in a spaceship going somewhere. So what is that?
It looked like he was in that Sakaran ship, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah. Because it was just like reincorporate like it from the first episode. Because he's like that deal. He said like in the first episode, I have to deal with that somehow. And so I kind of figured he's dealing with it now, right? He's doing the thing.
I mean, it seems like they've, that ship came to him for needing him for something, and now he's taking off. Curious to see. I mean, at least in the comics, he had a son. Whether that's going to tie into something that might be into would be kind of cool. Who knows?
Do you think, you guys? So, side note, the show's almost over. The show is fast, almost over anyway. We don't have anything to talk about. But I think it's a good point to bring us. Frank kind of alludes. Do you think they would do a Hulk spinoff if this is successful, or a Hulk something? If this on Disney Plus, not in the big movie thing?
I think they would have the same issues maybe that they have with the movies, where they can't just do a standalone Hulk movie, but that he could be part of something else. Okay. So if they packaged it a different way, where it's not specifically a Hulk show or Hulk movie, but it is like some kind of World War Hulk thing, or it's like easy to put him into She-Hulk because he's just another character and it's somebody else's different show. So I think they package.
So you feel supporting character is probably where it's at. He's always popular in supporting character roles, it seems like.
Well, I think only just because of the issues they have with the character and Universal. That so he doesn't necessarily have to be supporting, but he could be, a co-headliner, but it just couldn't be a solo film.
They said Universal has the rights to the next Hulk.
Yeah, but if it's like Marvel can use the character as long as it's not a full Hulk film, because that's when they start bumping into the Universal stuff.
Conflicts.
I don't know how people keep up with all this stuff. Is there somebody who's continuity at Marvel? Is like, okay, we can do this, but we can't do this. We can do this, we can't do this. I always hear all these things. There's so many different stipulations to things. Like You can say this, use this person if they're named this.
You can't show the back of Hulk's head in 2 minutes. Past that, and that's universals. That's
yeah, exactly.
It's like,
who does all that? Alana says hi, Anthony.
Oh, look at that.
So who's Alana?
I want to say it's my mom.
Oh, it's your mom?
It's totally my mom. This is my
mom.
I'm
She didn't say hi to the rest of us. She said hi to you. Okay,
well,
bye.
she had texted me while we were doing that. She goes, James is great. So I think that was a joke.
I was gonna say, ooh la Lana.
Yeah.
But hi, Mom.
John. Now she's gonna use that forever. She's gonna call me Ooh La Lana now. I think she's gonna. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
It's gonna be her new, her little Instagram name now.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, so Jen accepts the case. So now, I feel like this is an expositional episode that we're setting up for the next few now. So now she accepts the case. She's gonna do this. But the abomination breaks out of prison. She says that sucks. Listen to the camera. So there you have it. I mean, basically, we have the artwork and the artwork credits, which I love the artwork. Kind of continues, like fills in parts of the story, whatever. And of course, the end credit is her doing household stuff for them while she's there. That was kind of cute. It was kind of cute. But then the episode was over. Like, it was just like that fast. So is the abomination somebody we want to follow? Is this you think it's gonna be good?
I want to know, okay, because when they show that scene, it's in because I looked this up, like in Shang-Chi's the Golden Daggers Club, the one that Shang-Chi's sister
there's there too. Yes, there's some.
And my biggest question was, did Abominable break out, or did he do a portal thing and get him out to do some sort of thing?
So will Shang-Chi show up and She-Hulk?
I don't know. I mean, Frank, I feel like you would know.
Frank, you know all this stuff. Frank, tell us.
I mean, what I think about it is I think like with any new Marvel TV show or film, their first question for everybody is like, when does this take place in the continuity?
Oh, okay.
So I feel like by seeing that scene from the Fight Club, that it kind of figures out where the show kind of drops in, at least at this moment.
Oh, okay.
So the Marvel chronology.
Yeah.
So, which is cool. I don't think we'd see Shang-Chi in any of this, but it's just seeing. But I could see, yes, whether it's did he break out or did Wong port him out?
Yeah.
And they're just considering that his breakout.
What do you think is next? I mean, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, she's supposed to cover him. He broke out. So I wonder what does that mean? I guess that's the cliffhanger. I guess. Like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean for her? Or what does that mean for her? Because now he's out doing whatever he's gonna do. I guess.
I mean, I guess it all depends if the next episode he turns himself back in, and then. But it's also like she said, like her 100% guaranteed to get him out of their defense is in a lot of trouble now.
Yeah.
Somebody's mentioned. Somebody mentioned Betty Ross, and someone mentioned Katie in chat room. I mentioned those two.
Yeah, in fact, I was just watching some of that Hulk 2008 movie before we met up
Frank.
for this.
Frank.
It just, I think if I wouldn't mind seeing her again, I think it would just be a recast for sure.
I went to the theater and saw both of those, and I wanted my money back. I was like, I'm not even a huge superhero fan. But I was just like, what did I just watch?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember one of them. The CGI was horrible. I remember that. I was just like, what am I watching? I mean, my 5-year-old could do better than that. I don't know what's going on there. It was kind of weird. I just remember I'm not even a big superhero person, but I was just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't that.
Was it the Ong Lee one? Because that one was like, there wasn't very much action. It was just really.
I couldn't tell you which one is which. And I said, I'm not you guys would know better than I would.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the Ong Lee one, like at least the way it was presented, it's not a great movie. I really don't like that movie because he first hulks out because he's doing paperwork. And that's when he gets so mad that he hulks out.
Hello, Frank. When you do, hello.
Yeah, but that's like the lamest. That's the lamest reason to be hulking out. But there are a lot of the way he shoots it, where it's like comic panels kind of flying around. It was kind of interesting visually. I mean, the second one I feel is better. I think I liked Edward Norton better than Eric Bana as Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 2008 Hulk effects aren't great, and then it also suffers from that. Hey, we want to be a superhero film, but we can't like have him be like crazy strong. So I need to kind of keep it somewhat grounded, which is like, no, I don't need it to be grounded. I want it to be the Hulk that we kind of see in the Marvel movies where it gets a little crazy. So that one I feel like suffers from like he struggles to lift up an army jeep. You're like, no, he doesn't need to struggle for that. He can smash it around.
Yeah.
Bana was the Ang Lee version. Okay, they blend together for me at this point. I don't know which is which. That's why I defer to you guys. Anybody Marvel, I defer to you to tell me what's good and what's not good. I guess. But I just know I wasn't that impressed. I just know that Hulk was seen better in all these other movies as more of a sidekick, as more of a side character. It's like he got very popular, repopularized that way. Am I wrong to think that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be curious because I mean, I know Edward Norton was supposed to be the Hulk in the Avengers, but then that didn't work out, and they went with Mark Ruffalo. I don't know. Does anybody miss to feel like it was a path better not taken that Edward Norton should have been in those films?
I don't know. I really liked Ed Norton in Rounders. So,
Don, that's not a Marvel Universe show. Don.
I would have loved to see him.
I like Ed Norton in American History X. I mean, that's another whole story.
Are we doing this? Are we doing this now? Fight Club was really amazing too.
The Hulk at the casino would have been fun to see. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Thank you, John, for your commentary. Okay, we're not doing the best of Edward Norton movies. That's not what we're doing. He's a great actor. We love him. He's a great actor, but that's not what we're doing right now. That's actually hilarious, John. That's actually hilarious. Liv Tyler hasn't been doing a lot that I know of, plus Disney can't afford it, they said. The chat likes Mark Ruffalo as a Hulk. Again, I coach this as a non-Marvel person. I go see films here and there when I feel like it. But that's why I love hearing you guys' perspective, because I'm coming as the average person. There's a lot of us who aren't like huge Marvel aficionados. If it looks good, we go see it. That's kind of where I'm at. In the chat room, they're saying Mark makes Hulk funny. Someone brought up Gray Hulk. Someone else says Mark is a great recast. So they like Mark, apparently, in chat room.
James, what was a recent Marvel film that you were like, I'm not going to see that?
It's like so many. I don't. Thor: God and Thunder. I was like, what? That trailer was like, what in the fuck am I watching?
Oh, so you didn't see that one?
No.
Oh, all right. Did you see Shang-Chi?
No, but I do want to see that though. I do want to see that.
That was very good.
I heard it's very good. I heard it's very well. The scenes I saw looked really good. There's one on a bus or something looked really good. So there's some scenes I've seen, like some clips I've seen look good. So I haven't seen that one.
Black Widow?
No.
Also very good.
All right.
Also very good.
I assume you saw Black Panther.
Well, I'm black, so yeah.
It's part of the contract.
It's part of the meeting. We had our meeting.
Also saw Black Panther. Yeah. And talked to Chadwick Boseman right afterwards.
Right, exactly. That's what I did. So exactly.
You called him. You said good showing. Good showing.
Man. About Angela.
Yeah.
Exactly. Every black person in America, we saw it together. So yeah, all 1 billion black people saw that movie. Mm-hmm. Yes, I saw Black Panther.
Avengers: Infinity War.
No.
Avengers: Endgame.
No.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
No.
Spider-Man: Far From Home.
No.
Oh wow!
Last Spider-Man I saw. What?
You have a lot of work to do.
A lot of work to do. The last Spider-Man I saw was the original trilogy.
Interesting. Ooh, so what was it about She-Hulk then that was like, I want to watch
I was a kid when She-Hulk first came out. It reminds me of my childhood. And so nostalgia brought me in. I thought, let me take a look at the trailer. The trailer actually brought me in. We're all in this business, and we know that some trailers are cut certain ways to certain audiences they think should be, the audience. And you'll see go, well, that didn't do anything for me. Then you go see the movie, you're like, oh my God, I love, like, why did they feature that? Like, and so so I think some trailers actually turn me off. Like, a lot of us just go, well, I don't have the time to see it. Or I'll catch it on cable one day, like that kind of thing. Then there's some trailers you're like, I want to see that.
Yeah.
And that was I loved all the Iron Man movies. I love all the Batman stuff. That's DC, of course, but there's certain franchises I will go see regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
Whatever, whoever's, I'll just go see them. Marvel hasn't. Star Wars is that for me. I watch everything Star Wars. But I don't. But for some reason, Marvel, I piece things together. I used to watch all the X-Men stuff. I liked that. Because it had other elements in it. There was like an element of family, so I kind of liked it and things like that. So I liked that series. I like the actors. I mean, that was it too. I liked all the actors in those movies. So I watched those. So, but I know they were Fox or they were part of some other. But I watched those. But yeah, I haven't seen. I said I haven't watched any of the Marvel TV shows. I wanted to see WandaVision. It looked very interesting.
And Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel.
I don't know see it either. I mean, I like to review on your show.
I know you're supposed to watch. I reviewed it on my show. You're just like, oh my gosh, this sounds great, Anthony.
It's a good review, but that's not to watch it. But it was a good review.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Ms. Marvel a lot.
There you go. He enjoyed it. So for me, that's why I said, let me do a show. And so She-Hulk. So that's a great question, Frank. It says because you always think, what can bring you back into a universe? I just watched wrestling for a Flowo show the other week. Yeah, and I used to watch wrestling back in the 90s and 80s, but he asked me to do a show, so I watched it for his show. Will I watch it every week? No. But there are wrestlers now that I know I kind of follow because I fell in love with them. But like folks with soaps, not everybody watches soaps anymore. They used to watch Young and Restless when they were kids. They don't come back and watch the show. But every once in a while, somebody will bring them back. And so for me, it was like Beyond Salem that happened on Peacock. They brought back Bo and Hope. A lot of folks came back to watch that. So for me, it was nostalgia reasons. It was like, I grew up with She-Hulk. I knew what She-Hulk was about. I always wanted to see She-Hulk. And the trailer would sound funny. It looked really funny. And so far, it's living up to its trailer to me.
Hey, James, is there one nostalgic comic book hero, DC, Marvel, any Image, any of those that hasn't been done yet that you would like to
Frank
see?
knows this. Frank and maybe John May knows. I told this once on a show, I think. No, it was Frank and Flubbo.
Mm-hmm.
They almost made it, and they didn't. Frank's laughing already. I was such a Wonder Twins fan.
Oh my god!
I'm a twin. I was a whole Wonder Twins. I grew up with the Wonder Twins, the whole Super Friends.
Yeah. The monkey. Yeah.
With Zan and Jada and Gleek. I was all about that. And they actually cast the movie they were going to do. I was like, oh my god, we talked about it on the show, and all of a sudden they're going to cast it. And they canceled it.
Wait, they really? How long ago?
Last year.
Oh my god!
Like, no, seriously, we talked about it on my show, and like a couple weeks later, all of a sudden, they're like, they cast that because Candace Mag was like, James, they cast the Wonder Twins, like the Wonder Twins. I was so excited. So I have to settle with the comic books. I've been reading the comic books, so but that's one set that I was an Aquaman fan too. I know he was kind of a joke in the comics, but I love that first movie. But I'm waiting for the second one. So like, yeah, so that's kind of So Wonder Twins is the one that I'm just kind of like, where are they?
Yeah.
Where are they? So that's kind of good question. That's why. But I'm not. I mean, I don't dislike Marvel stuff. It's not something that these big blockbuster things I don't run to. Now I already heard what happened to obviously people get killed. Also, I don't understand all that. So I was like, okay, I'm done. Well, sometimes it gets very like you said, Frank's like this is alternate universe. Because I remember somebody was like, in DC there's Earth 2 and Earth 5. And I mean that's all like that is all too much for me. I don't for the lay person, it can be really you can't go, well, I don't know what all that is. I mean, and you'll feel like, how can I get involved? It's like you have to have something sometimes where if it's easy to get into, then you can do it. I always feel like Star Wars is easier. Especially not the comics, but like the movies and the shows, I think are much easier to get into, actually.
So when we get off from here, you have to go and watch Captain America, the First Avenger.
And Rounders.
And also Rounders. Make sure you also watch Rounders. That's the second movie in the MCU. It's Captain America, the First Avenger, and then Rounders. And then you continue from there.
No, for things I've seen the Avengers movies. I've seen those. And I've seen Captain America. That was the one. Captain America. I think I saw Captain America. I saw it. I can't remember. I think I did. I don't remember.
Ant-Man?
Captain America Civil War, where you saw all the heroes fight against each other.
Yeah, I did see that. Okay, I did. And I did see the first two Thors. I did like the first two Thors. I did like that.
Okay.
I
Thor
saw that.
Ragnarok is
Ooh.
Thor Ragnarok is the best one. That's my favorite Thor movie.
Oh wow, okay. Frank's like, sure. He's like, okay.
No, I would agree. I would agree with that. Same assessment.
Oh, okay.
Interesting note, because I did on the show today. I went back on a throwback, like a movie, and a movie that I don't know if you guys know this, that influenced Ragnarok was Big Trouble in Little China.
That's how I remember that movie. That's my time period.
Because Taika Waititi was like, I want to make, because Thor was so kind of intense and serious, so he was like, I wanted to be more like Jack Burton, where he's kind of fumbling and goofy and foolish.
Ooh, okay.
So just curious. Side note. I want to act like I knew something on here, okay?
Well, see, for me, I grew up with all those Sylvester the Stone films, Alan Quartermain, all these things that were kind of like, they were all Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of ripoffs, but comedic. And I love those.
Yeah.
I love those. There's still action adventure in them, but also lots of humor and slapstick and kind of romance. I love those kind of things. I did grow up with that.
Yeah.
I did grow up with that. I know. All you Marvel fans will come after me, I'm sure. Like, James not doing. That's why I'm joining the Marvel universe now to see. And I'm liking She-Hulk so far. I'm liking this.
And all these Edward Norton fans are like, dude, okay, I got a list. Here, here's what you're gonna watch.
Primal Fear,
Fight Club,
Rounders.
Rounders. Exactly. That's why it says Kathleen Turner Yum. Not anymore, but back in the day, yeah. She was like that. When the going get tough, the tough get going, and that is us too. We're gonna leave now with you. We're not gonna talk about Aaron Norman's rest of the night and how much James doesn't know Marvel, but we're here. John, glad you could join us. Come in.
Thank you for having me.
Tell them about your other show. Tell them what's going on.
So I do another podcast. Two very good friends of mine, Kyle and Gina. It's called Jury Duty, a Big Brother podcast, or at BB Jury Duty on the socials. You can find us. We talk about all sorts of competitive reality TV shows like Big Brother, The Challenge, Survivor, all that. If you want to find me, my personal account, it's at jdunn89 on Twitter or Instagram. And that's me.
I wonder on his other show, he says, my good friends James Lott Jr. and Frank Moran, and I don't know if he says that or not. I don't know. He says that. Anthony,
no.
Yeah, he's like, no. Anthony,
you're my best friends.
Your best friends.
Just don't tell John, Gina, and Kyle that.
I'm sorry. What is your name, Anthony? Your turn.
Are we doing plugs here?
Okay. Plugs. Yes.
All right.
Yo, watch Rounders on Vudu or HBO Max.
Exactly.
So good. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Nerd Java on YouTube is like my games, movies, TV show, and Instagram is either at Anthony Tupasi, or you can check me out at No Bite 2 small at Instagram. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about stuff. I check it out, John's stuff. I love that you're so talented. So you're a great singer, and I mean, wow. I was like, oh, I do.
I know John's good.
This
John's
guy?
good. That's what he's good.
Incredible. Powerhouse.
He's no slouch.
Renaissance man.
Good. And my buddy and my work husband of 7 years, Frank Moran. Where can they follow your ass?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Happy Go Jackie.
Yes.
Me and my three soulmates.
I'm coming.
My soulmates. That's how I refer to everybody, John. The three of you are my soulmates. I tell it to everybody.
Thank you. I love you.
Oh my God. And we're all James Lott Jr. is sold at James Lott Jr. also social media platforms. Also on TikTok. Yes, I'm a TikTok star somehow. So go ahead and check out my crazy videos I put on there. Also, YouTube channel is JLJ Media. Like, subscribe, comment, only if it's nice. I can't take any more bad comments anymore. Just leave me alone. Also, we are on every streaming audio platform. This show is on every streaming audio platform under the She-Hulk Attorney at Law Aftershow. There's no other show like it out there. I looked. There's some shows that are similar, but
there's a Shulky one, but not cheap.
There's no Rounders after show, but we have other after shows on this channel that we're doing here on JLJ Media. Thank you so much for making our show a hit. Watch it, share it, tell everybody in the universe to watch it, and we will see you next time.